Investors and traders, welcome to the channel Market Chart Pattern. Today is 8th of January 2024, and I hope everyone is having a great day. So this is going to be the daily recap for the markets, in particular the US stock markets. And as usual, this video is for educational purposes only, and it is not a financial advice. So what a trading day it has been for the markets, the US stock indices. All the stock indices that we track closing in the green. So this is quite a different picture to last Friday. And last Friday we were looking for a bounce, and did we get a bounce? We got a big bounce today. So for the moment, we are treating it as a bounce. We'll have to wait and see, because we were looking for a low to come in the next week. So not this week, the following week. And if you have watched our video, I'll put a link to it in the description and towards the end of this video as well. Because of the model that we're following, the next week looks like that we'll have a much better tradable low come in. So we'll have to wait and see how this week will go. Okay, so before we just move into the general markets, I just want to quickly show these are our standard deviation levels that we were watching for this coming week. So this upper table you see, this is for the weekly. So for the entire week we were watching the +1 and +2 standard deviation levels, and -1 and -2 standard deviation levels. And the table which is below this, these are the levels which are for the daily, so for today. And I have the new levels that we are expecting these markets to move in for tomorrow. And if you are able to stick around till the end of this video, we will have a look at those as well, and I will also paste them in the description of the video. However, in the description the formatting is not that great. I don't know how to get around that issue at the moment, but I will also show them in a chart like this towards the end of this video. Okay, so we'll just quickly go through the bonds first. So today, a positive day for the bond, both for the US 10-year Treasury note and the 30-year long bond futures. But to be honest, if you were looking intraday, it was a move up, a move down, and a move up, and the bonds actually opened a little bit lower, and they retraced a little bit lower, and then they rallied in the early morning, and then they retraced lower, and then towards the end they rallied again. So a big seesaw kind of movement there. A lot of volatility in these markets, and these are huge markets. They are way much bigger than the US stock markets. The dollar, so a little weakness in the dollar. This was kind of expected because of the movement that took place last Friday, and we discussed that pattern 61.8% Fibonacci retracement we were watching. The surprising thing is that the gold, usually when the dollar is weaker, the gold rallies. But here I just spotted there is a mistake. It's 2053 spot 42, not 20,534. So I will correct that. So with the weaker dollar, although it's just slightly weak, gold was down about $18, 18 bucks, about a percentage point. That is something really interesting. And if someone was watching the gold contracts traded on intraday basis, really early morning Eastern time, New York Eastern time, there were some big orders coming in for sell. Just looking at brokers order flow, and we have seen, this is something I will be paying a lot of attention to for tomorrow. And then energy complex. So again, crude oil, although I had been bullish last Friday on crude oil, but it was a bigger move down. Surprisingly, the natural gas, which when it opened, the contract opened and began to retrace. Early morning it was retracing, and then it began to rally, and look, it closed the day up for 6.6%. So the energy markets, that way we are tracking them with just two contracts, the crude oil, the WTI contract, and the natural gas. They looked interesting and rather mixed at the moment. And then finally, coming to the S&P 500, our US stock indices. So just quickly having a look at our chart formation here, the graph we are looking at for the standard deviation, and then we'll dive into the charts. So moving on to the S&P 500, the cash index, huge up close today, 66.32 points, 1.41%. And the ES was also up big at 62.25 or 1.32%. And here just would like to point out, to going back to our standard deviation levels. So the daily points, we were looking for +1 standard deviation to come for daily levels 4767 and 4800 for the +2 standard deviation. And where did we close? We closed today around 47.97, so that's around the +2 standard deviation point here. So we closed right here, very close to the +2 standard deviation. And on the weekly, we didn't meet that yet, but that is something to be watched for tomorrow, in addition to the daily levels for the 9th of January, which I'll be posting towards the end of the video. And then if we look at the NQs, so the NQs were really strong. They had a massive day. We are looking at really big move in the NQs. And here what we are looking at is it was able to actually go past the daily +2 standard deviation, and it closed very close to around this +1 standard deviation level around here. In fact, it just was about 20 points above this, roughly 23 points in that ballpark figure. Dow Jones YM, it was actually mixed. I think it was because of the Boeing Airlines, because of the news that came out over the weekend. Maybe because of that, it had a bit of a muted price action. Otherwise, the Dow Jones actually had been stronger than the other indices. And then Russell 2000 closed strong as well. And here what we are looking at is basically it just went above the +2 standard deviation on the daily, went above the +1 standard deviation for the weekly, closed around 2002. So now we'll be watching for the +2 standard deviation for the weekly as well. So looks like the Russell 2000 was also pretty strong, and an incredible turnaround for the indices. I'm just moving these away now, and we'll just begin to take a look at the charts itself. So here we go. This is the S&P 500 cash index, and look, a very astounding candle here. So what we had been talking about the S&P 500 is that on the cash, it has not made a new all-time high, and the pattern formation ABCD looks like there is a chance it might just go to 4900 or 4910. Moving to ES, here we have this a new all-time high in the ES contract, and today was really strong as well, and perhaps this could move to about 4940, 4950 even. The NQs, these are really interesting. The NQs actually have this this 17,250 level. If these remain this strong, it's possible it just goes and visit that again. So we are watching the Qs really. I'll keep you guys updated on this. And then let's take a look at the Dow Jones. This is the daily chart of the Dow Jones futures contract. One of the things about this index is that this big ABCD is just really there. It's just completed that, in my opinion, but also it hasn't really broken down, so there is just no signal. There is no change in trend triggered by this index, because it hasn't taken this 37396 level out to the downside. It's just consolidating. It's just going sideways. Maybe it just begins to trade like this for a few more days. And then finally, let's take a look at the Russell 2000. And the Russell 2000 is here we go. a very strong gain, and I'd like to take a look at this on a weekly chart, because it just shows that it's just been in a really strong, really what do you say, long consolidation trading range, and they just try to break out of it and just went back into it. And here, yeah, it looks like it just wants to go and test these highs again. So what I'll do is, for the next day's trading ranges per hour model for standard deviation, I will go and actually post that in the chat's description, excuse me, in the video's description, and we'll just do a recap tomorrow, and we'll see how those have panned out. So thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck and good trading. Thank you very much. Bye.